fat acceptance and fat liberation have hijacked the original spirit of the body positivity movement and twisted it into something that is quite anti-feminist. Instead of fighting for all women's rights to exist in their bodies without shame and recognizing that thin women struggle under the same beauty standards that they do, they've become obsessed with ostracizing and tearing down women they define as thin, as if being smaller automatically makes someone an enemy. It's like they've traded in one oppressive standard for another, where you're only worthy of support if you fit their specific definition of marginalization. Wait, did you guys hear that? Who just said that? Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sam and I make weekly videos dissecting internet nonsense just like that. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. I hope you're ready for today's video. I have a good one in store for you guys. If you are new here and this is the first time you are seeing my face, welcome. I'm so happy to have you and I hope that you'll consider subscribing and joining our community today. It'll also help make sure you never miss another upload from me. And before we get started, I need each and every one of you to go ahead and click that like button because that also really helps out the channel by pushing the video to a wider audience of people. The algorithm gods, they really like when you do that for me.
Oh, okay. I see what you did there.
Now, if you're thinking, Sam, what was that open and are you going to explain yourself? Like, how dare you start the video without an explanation? Don't worry, I got you. If you don't have TikTok or you're not seeing this trend yet, it is currently a TikTok trend where people are either facing completely away from their cameras or just covering their mouths to give their controversial opinions and then immediately say, wait, who said that? Like they didn't just say that. This video is going to be my version of that trend today because I really want to talk about the way that the fat acceptance and fat liberation movements have made plus-size women on the internet very comfortable tearing down other women in the name of feminism and fighting diet culture. And we're going to do that today by talking through and analyzing a few recent TikTok trends that have helped them along the way. I felt like I had to start with this controversial opinion trend because it's all the rage right now, but also I really love trends like this because they tend to bring out the best people who are just sick and tired and ready to speak some truth.
Being a girl's girl does not mean blindly supporting someone just because they're a woman. In fact, some of you enable such bad behavior to the point where they think it's okay, and you are exactly the reason that they act the way that they do. Who said that?
Or who just generally want to be hilarious and relatable.
If you want to lose weight and have a hot girl summer, you can't eat cheesecake out of the fridge at midnight. Who said that?
There was also no shortage of fat acceptance and fat liberation creators hopping on this TikTok trend to go ahead and put out their controversial opinions about fighting diet culture and beauty standards using their same old arguments.
Do you really need to diet or pursue weight loss, or is it anti-fat and fat-phobic beliefs deeply rooted in oppressive systems and affecting every part of our society? Now, don't twist my words. You have body autonomy and are allowed to pursue weight loss. Can we agree it's shit that our society has us believing we're not worthy if we don't pursue weight loss, though? They want us to focus on being physically smaller because, in turn, we focus on being smaller in every single way possible. When it takes so much energy, time, attention, and money to pursue weight loss and diets, we don't have room for much else. We're fighting fascism. Of course they want us to feel helpless.
Yep, see, there it is. I'm not shocked at all to have found this within this trend. They cannot help themselves, right? They are also creators. They're trying to hop on the trends to go viral. It's the way that social media works. But this is not the first time that we've actually heard this argument about the way that dieting keeps people weak and unable to fight oppressive systems. I'm unsure if you'll remember it. It came in a kind of like chaos compilation video that I did maybe a month or two ago. But there was another woman making a very similar argument, telling people that they would be better off staying fat and strong than losing weight and becoming thin and weak.
This message is for anyone that's been fat their whole entire life. I mean, you've been fat since kindergarten type of fat. Put down the GLP-1s. Put down the injections. This message is for you. Put down the injections. They want you to be skinny so that you can't be strong. I need you to focus on being strong and loving your body. Being strong is better than being skinny. Please, they want you skinny and weak. Don't let them make you skinny and weak. Be strong, be fat and strong instead. Okay, love you, bye.
And here's the thing. I understand their argument and where they're trying to go, right? This is a tale as old as time. We have seen it throughout history. It is often said that ruling classes or governments or capitalism, those things pit us against each other. And when that happens, what we do is we fight amongst one another, and we don't realize the power we have if we were to unite and fight those oppressive systems or ruling classes or governments that are keeping us down. But here's the thing that really gets me about them making this argument, because the irony of it all is that they are the most guilty of fighting with their peers. We have seen them time and time and time again go out of their way to attack other women. And these women, mind you, are being oppressed by the same beauty standards and the same diet culture that they are. But they can't see that because of the perceived us versus them mentality that they have within these movements. They spend all of their time nitpicking other women who are also struggling with self-esteem issues, body image issues, just generally trying to feel like they fit in. And to explore this idea further, as I mentioned, I want to do that by taking a look at two pretty recent TikTok trends. The first trend took place earlier this year, and it was known as the chubby filter. That's right, it was a filter that would take your photo or video and make you chubby. Everyone was using it on their photos of themselves at the gym, photos of themselves working out, photos of themselves in formal wear. Heck, even groups of friends and people getting ready for dates were using this filter. And listen, don't get it twisted. I don't love these filters. I think the chubby filter, I think the skinny filter that came out, I think all of the filters are pretty damaging to society and the way that we see ourselves. But the thing is, this filter garnered quite a reaction from the plus size community, as you can imagine. But rather than targeting how problematic filters are, they went for extremely low blows, some of which were actually just telling the thin women that they actually looked better fat.
The irony of this chubby filter trend is that a lot of you look better after.
You know what I think is a little bit funny with the chubby filter that all the skinny girls are using right now? You all look objectively better with the filter on. Like, the before photo was giving, like, mean girl in high school who is now a nurse and, like, commits elderly on the daily, and the after is giving, like, a baddie who has all her shit on lock and, like, smells really good.
And this was a particularly interesting response to me because not only were they continuously showing us how they viciously attack thinner women, they were complimenting a version of fatness that isn't even real. This is an AI-generated filter. So when the images are done rendering, yes, they did look chubbier, but it's not realistic. They have smooth, mostly thin upper arms, big thighs with no lumps or bumps, hourglass body shapes, and silky smooth skin with slimmer faces. This is not how fat people look. Ask me how I know.
None of you seem to understand. I'm not locked in here with you. That's it! You're locked in here with me!
And praising these images and basically telling someone, you actually look better this way at a different size, seems pretty contradictory to their overall message, which is that bodies deserve respect at every size and that your weight does not make you worthy of respect. They're actively contradicting that. And also, once again, feeding into beauty standards, right? Of the silky smooth skin, of the upper arms that are not chubby, and the slim face, despite the fact that the body is chubby. They are reinforcing beauty standards rather than challenging them, which is again against their core messaging. And these weren't the only videos that didn't line up with their messaging. Check this one out. You guys, when I watched that, all I could think about was Mean Girls when she's like, "So you agree?"
Thanks. You're like really pretty. Thank you. So you agree? What? You think you're really pretty?
Because this creator's caption is once again telling these women they look better with their chubby or fat bodies. And then what she's doing in the video is luring them to the dark side. That's what she's saying. Come to us. You look better chubbier. Here's how I'm going to lure you, by pulling out junk food and highly processed snacks out of her backpack. So, like, you agree that people can go from a thin body to a chubbier or bigger body just by eating highly processed and ultra processed snack foods? Because it's sure starting to look that way to me. The final video that I have on this trend is one that I genuinely liked at the time that I found it, because this creator was reminding people that they shouldn't couple their worth with their body size.
Can't believe that it is 2025 and I'm about to make a TikTok saying, please don't use the chubby filter. Like, are we kidding me? Like, I thought we would come such a far way from the early 2000s and like that thin culture, but obviously we still need more growth because that trend is absolutely vile and disgusting. Just want to remind everyone, your worth is not tied to the size of your jeans, to how much you weigh, or how small your body looks. You are beautiful and worthy at any size. Have a lovely day.
Unfortunately, this video is going to age like milk as we move into the next trend, which is called the Big Momma trend. Yeah, you heard me right. It's the Big Momma trend, which just makes me...
Looks like you're enjoying yourself. Oh, yeah, that looks like you're enjoying... Okay.
Yeah, it makes me want to throw up a little bit. Now, if you haven't seen this trend, because I know many of you tell me all the time that you don't have TikTok, there's a Lotto song that plays in the background, and it's just on repeat saying, Big Momma, Big Momma. And the reason that I find this so vomit-worthy is that so many women overlaid their videos with their measurements. And they were so excited to give those measurements and sizes away to creepy men on the internet. And they also opened the door and ushered them into a space where they've been allowed to critique and judge and tear down women's bodies based on their measurements and what they look like.
The song says Big Mama, not medium mama, not little mamas, not mini mamas, Big Mama. Because y'all don't listen. I seen everything in the challenge. It was a nice challenge. It was fun. Started watching. I was like, everything bouncing, everything moving. I'm having a good time. Then I seen some flat wings in there. You know? It feels like, you know what it feels like to order a bucket of wings, like full chunky thighs with the breasts, and then you get flats. That's what I'm talking about. It's the challenge is Big Mama. If you didn't fit the mold, start yours. Start Little Mom, just do something, remix the song. But God, simple instructions. Y'all ruin the fun. Posted videos and things are not moving. You're supposed to jiggle, Big Mom. You're supposed to jiggle.
I mean, let's go ahead and just give them a round of applause. I mean, they did it. They donned their best swimsuits, dresses, formal wear, and casual outfits to show off their Big Mama bodies. And the worst part for me is that the overlay text with the measurements kind of ended up being a way for people to decide if you were big enough to participate in this trend. I kid you not. They didn't want tall girls to be able to participate.
Excuse me. I've got a PSA, a plus size service announcement. Okay. If you do not have to go to a plus size store to buy clothing, you are not a big mama, okay? You are not, this trend is not for you. If you are a large, okay, you are not a big mama. If you are tall, big mama don't mean tall, okay? Let us have something, okay? Come on. You're not a big mama. You ain't got to get on this trend.
They didn't want to see people participating if they weighed 175 pounds.
Every time I see a Big Mama trend and it's a girl that literally weighs under 175 pounds, like, anybody can do the trend, however, I just scroll.
Then they decided that the real reason that smaller women were participating was just so that they could garner comments about how they weren't actually big.
Skinny women and girls participating in the Big Mama trend are only doing it so that people will comment and say that they're not actually big so that it can boost their ego. Because we all know that they would rather chew glass than be part of the fat community. Oh my god, who said that?
And then they just generally had a lot of parameters that they wanted people to meet to be able to participate.
Y'all starting to piss me off with this Big Mama trend. Can you let us have anything? Fucking 5'6", 190 pounds, size 10 shoe. Does not a Big Mama make.
And I'll say this since I'm pissing the people off. If you're a large, extra large, you are not a big mama. If you're under 5'10", you are not a big mama. If you're under 200 pounds, dare I say 250, not a big.
One woman even went out of her way to say that we shouldn't put parameters in place to make people feel excluded because plus size people know what that feels like. Only to immediately do an about face and set a whole bunch of parameters in place in the same video.
Some of y'all are trying to put parameters on this Big Mama trend, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. And this is coming from an indisputably Big Mama. 5'12", 275 pounds, 46H, 1X, 2X, 11, 12. I'm a Big Mama. On one hand, I love that us Big Mamas are having this moment, and there's a big part of me that wants to reserve it just for us. On the other hand, we know better than anybody else what it's like to feel left out, excluded for reasons beyond our control. So here's what I propose. I think these are the parameters we should set for the Big Mama trend. Any woman who is at least 5'10", and, very important hand here, any woman who is at least 5'10" and wears a size 11 shoe, you get to be a Big Mama. It doesn't matter how much you weigh. It doesn't matter what size you're wearing. It doesn't matter what kind of bosom you're packing around. If you are 5'10" and up and you wear at least a size 11 shoe, you get to be a Big Mama. If you are 5'10" and anything below a size 11 shoe, you can still be a Big Mama, but only if you're plus size. I don't want to see no 5'2", 120 pounds, size 4 Big Mama. You don't get to be a Big Mama. But if you are 5'2", 2X, welcome to the club. How's that sound? I think that's fair.
I mean, you genuinely cannot make this up. She literally just said, don't put any parameters in place, but also, you better be taller than 5'10" and wear a size 11 shoe. And if you're shorter than 5'10", you better be able to prove your plus size. Yeah, remember when that one girl said your jean size doesn't matter, your weight doesn't matter, you're worthy? Aged like milk. All of these plus size women decided that jean size, bra size, shoe size, and height, all of those things mattered. And all of those things were used to determine who was worthy and who was not. Isn't that just rich coming from them? The people who don't want to be judged at all for the way they look or their body size, going out of their way to judge other women because of their body size. I mean, a lot of the tall creators were saying things like, heck yeah, I got bullied. I got called a linebacker. I got called the Jolly Green Giant. They were bullied because of how their bodies looked. Wait, who said that? But seriously, after watching hours and hours of TikToks like this to make this video and just for funsies, I couldn't help but notice the way that these plus size creators will constantly say diet culture and capitalism and beauty standards are made to pit us against each other so that we can't fight oppressive systems. And then in the same breath, they are the first to tear down other women over very silly internet trends that mean nothing in the grand scheme of things. So are they for unity to fight the oppressive systems that keep us all down? Or are they for bickering over who looks better with AI-generated fat rolls and who can be defined as a Big Mama? I think if their general message is going to continue to be that beauty standards and diet culture and the patriarchy and capitalism are harmful to women, then maybe, just maybe, the solution is not going to be found in continuously tearing down other women over filters and silly internet trends that don't represent real bodies anyway. And again, they're doing this to fight the patriarchy while opening the door and ushering in men on the internet to judge, criticize, and fetishize women's bodies. Call me crazy, but none of that seems like acceptance or liberation. And to be perfectly honest, it seems like solidarity probably shouldn't come with a size requirement. Alright, that is all I have for you all today, and at this point, I am genuinely curious to know what you think about all of this. I'm curious to know if you've seen this controversial opinion going around about diet culture keeping women thin and weak so that they can't fight the system. What do you think about these filters? The chubby filter, the skinny filter? Did you like either of them? I don't like them in general, as I said, but I'd love for you to share your opinion with me. What do you think about them telling women that they actually look better in plus-size bodies? What do you think about the one trying to lure thin women into a plus-size body with junk food snacks? I'm also genuinely curious if you noticed any of them praising AI for creating an unrealistic image of fatness. I'm genuinely curious because that one really got me. There have been so many complaints, like if you follow any of the subreddits or anything plus size, even Tumblr, they're constantly going on and on about how artists don't draw fat people correctly, and yet here they are praising AI, which is likely stolen from an artist. What do you think about the Big Momma trend and them so willingly putting their measurements on screen to prove that they are indeed a big mama? What do you think about them gatekeeping and basically telling other women, you can't be a part of this? And also, what do you think about them just opening the door and ushering some weird internet men right on into their space? I'm genuinely curious to know what you think about all of this chaos. I hope you'll leave your opinion for me in the comment section down below. And for all my introvert friends out there who may not feel comfortable leaving your opinion in an internet comment section, I see you. Go ahead and leave me a clown emoji this week. I feel like it's the most appropriate one because these influencers are always out here making fat acceptance, fat liberation, and honestly just the plus size community look like a big old circus. As always, thank you all so much for being here with me this week. I will see you in the next one. Bye!